Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be going over all of the empties that my family and I have made from Bath & Body Works. So I've got my handy dandy bin of empty products right here, and I think this is probably going to be a little bit of a smaller batch than usual, just because the last empties video I made was about mid-September, so this is about half of September, all of October, and then most of November. This is just the last couple of days of November that I'm filming this, and I'm probably going to push it for a later upload. So you're probably seeing this is probably mid-December now. This is about 2 to 3 months worth of empties that we all made together. I feel like I didn't do a very good job, but I know that some of my other family members have done a very good job. So let's get started going over all of the things we used up this fall. I'll also try and do my best to give credit where credit is due. That way you know who used which product at least the most. Some of it is by floor. So Jose and I are the ones that use more of the candles and the hand soaps that when I say from the basement or the downstairs, that's kind of what I mean is me and Jose have used it mainly. And then if I ever say the upstairs or the main floor, it's the same thing. Those will usually be the products that my mom has used up. So if I ever kind of say that, that's what I mean. And even though my sister and dad don't use Bath & Body Works as much as we do, they still bring me their empties as well. So I'll give them credit when it's due. Let's get started first with the hand soaps. So from the basement level, what Jose and I used, we had 4 hand soap empties. And then upstairs in my mom's bathroom, as well as the laundry room and kitchen, there were a total of 5 hand soaps. Starting within the kitchen, we actually had a summer leftover. This is raspberry tangerine in the foaming hand soap. And this has wild raspberries, fresh tangerine, and lemon zest. This is a good one if you aren't really a seasonal person or you're kind of in between seasons. This is definitely a go-to for me. It's just a simple fruity scent that I will always keep buying. Same thing here. This was a summer into fall carryover from the laundry room. This is actually a little bit of an older one from 2018. It's called Nectarine Sun Tea, and it has notes of sweet sun tea and ripe nectarine. So this one is from a collection. We actually had the whole collection, and my mom had been working on these. We had a strawberry tart from this collection that she had finished that was a part of the summer empties, and then the next one she used was blueberry crumble, and I think she finished this one in the earlier part of fall, so like September time. And this one had notes of fresh blueberries, brown sugar glaze, and a dash of cinnamon. And then predominantly through October, she took a break from that one collection she's been working on to have a festive Halloween hand soap. This one is a classic, the Perfect Pumpkin, and it has notes of carved pumpkin, spooky cinnamon, and moonlight vanilla. Perfect Pumpkin is definitely my go-to for Halloween scents, since a lot of the Halloween scents tend to be like candy themed, or they have a lot of musks or lots of fruity notes. But to me, pumpkin smells like October, so I am always reaching for the more jack-o'-lantern type scents. And then resuming on that collection, she used up a pumpkin apple. This ended up being our Thanksgiving hand soap, and this one was red delicious apples, fall pumpkin, and clove buds. There are 2 more hand soaps from that collection. One of them is already nearly done, and then there's going to be one more, and those ones will probably end up being a part of the winter empties. So the ones that Jose and I worked on, this is the first fall hand soap that we used of the year, and this is Afternoon Apple Picking. I love this scent. It's like a fresh, crisp, simple apple scent, and it has crisp apple, succulent pear, and cinnamon. And for whatever reason, we really went hard on the apple scents for hand soap this year. Then we used the apple of my eye, which is green caramel apple. This one was a little bit disappointing because I normally love caramel apple scents, but this one didn't really make me think of carameled apples. It was more just like a very lightly fragranced apple scent. It wasn't even as good as the Afternoon Apple Picking. It was just very softly fragranced and not strong enough for me. And it didn't really have notes of gourmand that I noticed either. But either way, the notes were green apple, caramel drizzle, and melted brown sugar. And then for our Halloween soap downstairs, we used Spellbinding Sweets. This is a new one from this year, and it had notes of haunted lollipop, sweet bubblegum, and bewitched berries. It definitely was heavy on the bubblegum scent, which was kind of fun. And then last but not least, this was mainly our November or Thanksgiving kind of scent that we used for hand soap, and this is crisp apple, gooey marshmallow, and cinnamon spice. It's called Autumn S'mores. Now, they had autumn s'mores again this year, and I feel like this year's autumn s'mores smell a lot better than this one. This one is a little bit more heavy on the graham cracker crust scent, but I feel like this year's smells more like apple butter, and I actually like that better. So this was good, but I actually am glad that it felt like it was a little bit different this year. So grand total for hand soaps is 9 completed hand soaps, and they were all foaming this time. Next up, we're gonna do candles, starting with the basement. So what we end up doing is anytime we end up with single wicks, I usually burn those in the basement level just because I can burn them in my bedroom, and it's a little bit of a smaller space, and so I find that the throw works better that way as opposed to burning them in the main floor. The ceiling is a little bit higher and it's just a little bit bigger rooms. I feel like those single wicks just don't fill the space up as well. So from the basement level, I've got 3 single wick candles as well as 3 3-wick candles. So let's start there. So I actually started this one upstairs and ended up taking it downstairs. This is the pumpkin pecan waffles in a single wick, and the fragrance notes are maple syrup, golden waffles, pumpkin spice, and brown sugar. This is one of my favorite gourmands. It's super sweet and it has really good throw, super strong as well. So this is kind of the go-to if you like a strong sweet scent. And then we also had a pumpkin apple single wick. This one has notes of red delicious apple, fall pumpkin, fresh ground cinnamon, and clove buds. I usually wait until November to burn this fragrance, but I actually did it in September. I find that this is a good harvesty kind of scent, and I usually associate Thanksgiving with it, but I don't know. It just kind of happened early because I wanted to use up these single wicks first. This one is a classic. It's just called Autumn, and this one doesn't have fragrance notes listed on it because this was a tester candle originally and I bought it at a clearance sale. Based off memory, I think the notes are mainly apple, fig leaf, and fir balsam in this one. I really like this one. Normally it's not a scent I would lean towards, but it is also a very strong one, and it's more of a crisp, fresh, outdoorsy scent, almost leaning towards the Christmassy side because of that balsam, but just not quite because the apple is definitely like an autumnal apple, if that makes sense. This one actually gives me nostalgic memory vibes when I smell it, and so I do like to burn it for that reason because this is one of the earlier candles I discovered when I first started burning Bath & Body Works candles, so good memories on that one. In the basement, my Halloween candle ended up being pumpkin clove. This is definitely more of a musky, rich pumpkin scent, and this one has notes of clove buds, ground cinnamon, a pinch of nutmeg, and fresh pumpkin. This makes for a really good October into November scent. And then to celebrate the coming of November, on November 1st, I lit this white pumpkin. This one has notes of gingered white pumpkin, caramel glaze, warm blended spices. Also, you're probably noticing a lot of these candles are more of the newer ones. I actually have gotten caught up on some of my older ones where I used to have quite an old inventory of candles, but now we're a little bit more into the modern burning what I buy from this year. And then this is the last one that I burnt this season. This is the Perfect Autumn, and this is a good transitional fall into winter scent because it's got a lot of cranberry notes. So fresh cranberry, spiced pumpkin, crisp apple, and rich clove. I do love this scent. It's really good. And then I've got 3 pumpkin-y candles from the upstairs that my mom mainly used. We actually light these during reading time. We all gather in the living room to read together, so that's mainly what these candles are used for, so very cozy. The first one that went was this pumpkin peanut brittle. This might be my favorite fall candle, at least from this year. I give this one first place. I just enjoyed this so much. So this one has crunchy caramel brittle, salty peanuts, and toasted pumpkin seeds. To me, it just smells like those sweet and salty granola bars, and it just smells so good. It's a perfect blend of both the salty and sweet. And then once again, we had it in a single wick, but also we did the 3-wick of pumpkin apple upstairs. This is red delicious apple, fall pumpkin, fresh ground cinnamon, and clove buds. Classic. An oldie but a goodie. This is sweet cinnamon pumpkin. Also, are you noticing these are all a part of the same collection with those little pumpkins on the lid there? This is sweet cinnamon pumpkin. It has notes of warm cinnamon, fresh ground clove, vanilla cream, and brown sugar. So many pumpkins. If I said 3 earlier, I meant to say 4. There's a 4th candle, and it is pumpkin pecan waffles. Also, we did this in the single wick, but the 3-wick as well. And this is maple syrup, golden waffles, pumpkin spice, and brown sugar. This is a fragrance I will probably buy every single year and burn. So that clocks us in at 3 single wicks burned and 7 3-wick candles burned. Keeping it simple with the wallflowers, we used sweet cinnamon pumpkin, salted butterscotch and vanilla, as well as my favorite pumpkin peanut brittle. And then last home fragrance item, this one came from my dad. He ended up using fresh cut lilacs room spray all the way up. This is not normally a scent my dad would go for. I actually just pawned this off on him and assigned him to finish it up. This is from 2016 and I just don't like florals, so it was sitting in my collection for a long time and I was like, here you go, I know you use these, so he indeed used it up. Moving on to body care. I did a horrible job. I have 0 body care items, but my family came through like I mentioned earlier, so we're gonna go through their body care empties. I think the reason I didn't have any empties is because I was using a lot of brand new products. I wasn't really using them with the goal of completion in mind. It was more just to kind of savor and enjoy, and so I was kind of using them a little bit more sparingly than I normally would. I am hoping for a really big body care declutter and use up for January. So this coming empties after this one, I'm sure it's gonna be a lot bigger from my end. So let's start with my dad's. He ended up using up this shower gel of Atlantic, and this one has notes of coastal citrus, sea mist, and clean woods. I was surprised this one didn't come back this Halloween, but this is Wicked Vanilla Woods, and this is the shower gel that my sister brought to me that she used up. This one has notes of magical vanilla, glowing amberwood, and enchanted pink pepper. Now that I'm thinking about it, they did have it in the hand soap this year, but not the body care, so that was kind of weird, but she enjoyed that one. Jose is the one that used up this trio of aromatherapy body care, so he was actually working on the sea salt therapy Mimosa Spearmint body cream, and he used this one up this time around. If you watched last season's Empties, he actually used up the shower gel and pillow mist of the packaging of this Mimosa Spearmint, and we bought these two for him to finish up the body cream with, and he ended up using up these two. So this is the body wash and the pillow mist. And here we go with the nostalgia memories. So this is from the aromatherapy repackage that they did a huge revamp of aromatherapy back in 2018. And this is a fragrance that they brought along with that revamp, and they never did bring it back actually. This is Happiness Bergamot Mandarin. In my opinion, and probably Jose's too, this one was their best one. It's a little bit like orange ginger, except it's a little more herbaceous and bright, as opposed to the orange ginger has a little bit of that wood cleaner smell, but this one doesn't. This was really good. So he used up this body butter of it. So my mom really ended up coming through this time for body care empties. She has a bunch of champagne apple and honey body care items she used up, so let me show you those. Starting with the oldest, she used up this entire fragrance mist as well as a shower gel of the original packaging of champagne apple and honey. This was its debut launch, and so nostalgic. But this one says, bright leaves and blue skies, crisp air and orchard fresh fruit. Savor the season with the perfect autumn day. And it has notes of pink lady apple, sparkling champagne, jasmine honey, boysenberry nectar, and autumn woods. And then moving up a year, she used up this body cream. This is from Fall Traditions 2017 when they included all of the honey ingredients in there. And so this says, apple of my eye, and of course champagne apple honey. It says, it's our favorite fall ingredient, known for its soothing qualities. We love honey in everything from our tea to what we put on our skin. And then of course the same exact notes are listed. And then moving up one last year from 2018, she used up this jelly body scrub, which was a really unusual texture. So this one had like pumice and salt as the scrub component, but it was mainly like a shower gel kind of consistency and just very lightly exfoliant. So it was kind of an unusual form that they don't normally have. So that was kind of fun. But this one has a little bit of a different blurb for that year. It says, crisp, sunshiny days, apple orchards open across the land, leaves bright, and everything is all right because it's that time of year when your favorite ingredients are here. So definitely all into the fall vibes on that one. So in total, the family used up 4 shower gels, 2 body creams, and 2 fragrance mists. And with that sums up the fall 2023 season of Bath & Body Works Empties. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it inspired you to work on your use it up projects. I know it definitely humbled me and made me think I need to start working on my empties a little bit harder with those body care. You'll have to let me know down in the comments below, which product form do you end up using up the most? Is it candles or hand soap? Thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.